conservative new media viewers, J-Lin fans around the world, and LA Lakers fans around the world. What is up? It's me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal. We're here to discuss in this long video. We made a short video earlier. If you want to check it out, you can check that out. The Lakers 118-111 narrow loss to the rival Clippers in the Battle of LA, number one for the 2014-2015 season. But it's not just the Clippers and the Lakers, because the Zebras got involved tonight, and I'm talking about the referees. So it's the battle of the Lakers versus the Clippers plus the referees. There was a call that was not made with about 4 or 5 minutes left in this game. J-Lin drove down the lane, right-hand side of the lane, and got hammered by DeAndre Jordan. Not only should the Lakers have gotten 2 free throws, DeAndre Jordan should have been kicked out of the game because that was his 6th foul. That affected the game. That changed the game. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's no way the Clippers win without DeAndre Jordan, but it would have been a lot tougher. And the reason why it would have been tough, because nobody would have been able to stop J-Lin getting to the basket, because there would have been any shot blocking in the game then. So the Clippers and the refs helped get Steve Ballmer, the new Clippers owner, the first victory of his ownership over the Lakers. And so we have to call it like it is. That's what happened. Now, let me say something before I get rolling here. I made a blog post on Tumblr. I just set up a quick little Tumblr so I could make easy blog post. And I broke down a video that someone put up of Kobe and J-Lin talking on the bench in the Phoenix game. So if you look in the video description below the video player, you will see a link for that blog post. And I want to give thanks to Twitter guy Jeremy for translating it into Chinese. So it is in English and in Chinese. It's a very important discussion. What I did was I went over it and over it and over it to try to read Kobe's lips to see what he was saying. And then I got some more context on what he was talking about, because I have a pretty good idea of what he said. And now it all makes sense. So if you want to go and check that out, I'd ask you to go and check it out. I think you'd enjoy that, and there's more information to be gained from that. Also, one other quick thing. I might not be on Twitter as much during the regular season. Tonight I was on. There will be times where I won't be on much, just because during the NBA season, not only do I take extensive notes during the Lakers games, but I watch a lot of games. So I'm just busy even more than I am normally. So I'm still around there. If you tweet to me, I will see what you tweet. A lot of times I'll favorite tweets just to let people know that I saw it. But if you don't see me around, don't think anything of it. It's just that happens to me during the regular season of the NBA and as well as the playoffs. Now, the good thing from this was that J-Lin clearly listened to what Kobe told him. What Kobe said to him was, I want you to be more aggressive. I want you to run the offense. Jeremy came out tonight aggressive, and it really helped the Lakers quite a bit. He had an excellent game, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, although I think one of those turnovers was not correct. I think the scorekeeper might have made a mistake in that. But 3 of the turnovers were in the first half, and most of them, they were aggressive turnovers. The kind of turnovers that coach is okay with because somebody's trying to make plays. And even though he had the 4 or 3 turnovers, he had 9 assists. So you're still talking about greater than a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which is manageable. Certainly if it's 9-3, which I think it should have been, that's 3-to-1, which is fantastic. Kobe, 21 points, 4 boards, 7 assists. Now, Kobe had a little bit of trouble in the fourth quarter with the shot, but he played very well. He looked like the old Kobe in this game. He had a reverse dunk. he had two really nice scoop layup shots that were just terrific. You'll see all of this on the highlights. We'll put information for that in the video description as well. Jordan Hill, 23 points, 5 rebounds. So the Lakers, they really brought it tonight. They really came hard. And I'm going to tell you, it must have been Halloween, because for a lot of this game, the Clippers looked scared. They looked afraid. They really did. But Blake Griffin, 39.7 boards, 4 assists. He got it done. He got all of the Lakers' big men in foul trouble. Nobody could really guard him. He's just using his strength to back down different Laker defenders. And he's the one guy that hurt the Lakers the most tonight on the Clippers. The second guy that hurt them was Jamal Crawford, who was, if you watch Jamal, if you know him, he can hit these crazy three-point shots that look terrible, but he hits them. So he hit about a 35-footer in this game. He also hit one from the right side, like falling down with the shot clock about to go off. But he makes those shots. That's one of the things that he does. So got to give him credit. Jeremy outplayed Chris Paul, which is an incredible accomplishment. Chris had a okay game. He had a good game. For him, it was not a good game just because he's such a good player. But Chris Paul was just ranked the second best player in the league behind LeBron James, and Jeremy outplayed him. Chris Paul, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 10 assists. Similar. He and Jeremy had similar games. Jeremy was better. Jeremy shot the ball better. Jeremy was more aggressive. He got the better of Chris Paul tonight, and that is very, very good to see, particularly if you remember how Jeremy did when he faced Chris Paul in Houston. In the first game of last year, I think it was, or 2 years ago, as Chris Paul was like clowning J-Lin, and none of Jeremy's teammates on Houston were helping him out. It was a joke. Jeremy got his revenge tonight, and that's what we're looking for. And that's what Kobe's looking for. Be aggressive. Be confident. Forget about what happened in Houston, which is what I think Kobe said to Jeremy. Don't worry about Houston. This isn't Houston anymore. This is a real organization. Is essentially what I think part of Kobe's message was to J-Lin. Also, I don't think there'll be any Houston blogs putting up videos tonight. Let's just put it that way. That's a joke for the J-Lin fans, for those Lakers fans that don't know what I'm talking about. Things are looking up for the Lakers, even though they've started the year 0-3. They're playing good teams. They're in the middle of a 4 games and 5 nights start, which is very difficult. But the way they looked tonight was the way that they looked in Game 5 through Game 8 in the preseason. If you remember what happened in the preseason, they looked good in the first game. They beat Denver, I believe. And then they were terrible in Games 2, 3, and 4. And then they turned it around in the second half of preseason game number 5 against the Utah Jazz. And then they looked like a completely different squad. And that's what it looked like tonight. The first 2 games of the season, they looked horrible. Just embarrassing. And tonight, they looked legit. They looked like the best team in LA for most of this game until the referees got involved. Earlier, I called the referees zebras. For those of you outside of the United States, a zebra, as you know, is the animal with black and white stripes. While the referees used to wear the jerseys with black and white, and they still do in certain sports, and so that's why they're called zebras. So the zebras might have helped the Clippers maintain LA supremacy tonight, but the Lakers look good. They look like a team that can compete. And remember, they're missing Julius Randle, Steve Nash, Nick Young, Ryan Kelly. So they're still hurting. They're still hurting. And they still need more bodies back. And they still look good. This is what we want to see. The jerseys that the Lakers were wearing were the sleeved Hollywood Knights alternates. The NBA has gone into trying some of these jerseys with sleeves on them, and some of the players don't like them at all, but they work pretty well for the Lakers tonight. And they look pretty sweet. Kind of have like a black. They're pretty nice. I'm sure a lot of fans are enjoying those and buying those. They look pretty good. Now, it is going to be tough still tomorrow night because they are playing back-to-back in Golden State, and the game is in the Bay Area. Jeremy's going home, and it's going to be tough. The Warriors didn't play tonight, which means they're rested. It might be the Warriors' home opener. So this is a very difficult schedule for the Lakers. And there's a very good chance they're going to be 0-4. Somebody asked me on Twitter, Dartboard asked me, is 500 record for the season a moral victory? Well, maybe, and we'll see. Not ready to give up on this team yet, particularly with the way they played tonight. I want to see them play hard tomorrow because the Warriors punked them out twice in the preseason. So they owe the Warriors something, and I hope that they are ready to give it to them tomorrow night. Even if you don't win, come strong like you came tonight. That was really, really good to see, and it was just a fun game. Yeah, it's one thing to lose and just get blown apart. Another thing to compete, have a fun game. The crowd was into it. The Clippers were on their heels. They were reeling in this game. They didn't know what was going on. They weren't ready for this. I can tell you that right now. They were not ready for this. They thought the Lakers were going to come in and lie down. That didn't happen. So, very encouraging. I'll just say quickly before I get into more of this game, the game tomorrow night, so it's November 1st here in the United States, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific Time, and it will take place on NBA TV here in the United States. So that is November 2nd, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. in the morning for Taiwan, China, and the Philippines. Okay, overall, and we'll do quarter by quarter here in a second. The Lakers were aggressive. They gave a tremendous amount of effort on both ends of the floor. Lin was better than Chris Paul, and they ran the offense a number of times tonight. It still isn't. What I mean by that is every team has an offense or an offensive system that they use. Sometimes a team doesn't do it. It just kind of becomes freelance basketball, particularly when you aren't comfortable with the system, when it's new, when you don't remember where you're supposed to go or what to do on a certain play. But tonight, the Lakers were more disciplined in running the offense, from what I could tell. And that's a good sign. They're waking up. They're starting to learn it. They're getting a little more comfortable. And it's good to see. It's really good to see. So, yeah, they lost. The Zebras helped them lose. But they played well. This is what we need to see from this team. And if they play like this, they're going to win some games against good teams. So, we're just getting started. This is game number 3 in the 82-game season. We still got 79 more left. So I'm not giving up on anything. I feel great after this game. I'm pumped up, energized, just like you are, which is why you're watching this video. You want to continue to feel the excitement and electricity that you felt during this game because we finally saw it from this team. We knew they were better than this. Oh, the Lakers are the worst team in the NBA. No, they're not. Not when they play like this. Not when they play like this. And it was great, man. I was watching the Time Warner cable feed, Time Warner Cable Sportsnet, and Jamie Maggio was there filling in for Scooter, the normal host, the regular host, and Robert Horry was there, and James Worthy was there. Everybody's having fun, and then at halftime, it was like Jamie Maggio, Robert Horry, of course, Robert Horry is a famous Laker player from the past, as obviously James Worthy is, And then at halftime, because it's Halloween, I don't know where James Worthy was like. I don't know where he went. But so it was Jamie Maggio, Robert Horry, and then they had a Halloween pumpkin, like a jack-o'-lantern in James Worthy's seat. And they were calling him Pumpkin James. It was hilarious. I put out a tweet to Jamie and she retweeted it. It was funny. It was silly. Everybody was having fun. And the reason why they were having fun was because the Lakers were playing well. So everybody was pumped up. That's what we're trying to convey here. That's why I'm in a good mood. That's why you're in a good mood. Because the Lakers came through tonight. They played the way that we know that they're capable of playing. Now, let's go over the quarter by quarter here. First of all, Mike Trudell, who is the Lakers reporter, four-time winner Cable Sportsnet, said right before the game that the reason the team is not shooting a number of three-point baskets, which has been a big talking point around the internet and around the basketball community, is because they don't have the personnel for it. They don't have a lot of shooters on the team. Probably the best three-point shooter on the team is Wayne Ellington. And Wayne's been hurt some coming off of that concussion that he suffered in the preseason. So if you don't have guys that can shoot, you don't shoot a lot. Now, Jeremy Lin's a good shooter, and he shot the three well tonight. But Jeremy's often the man making the plays, which is to say he's the guy passing out to the shooter. Well, Steve Nash, who is a fantastic shooter, he's out. Nick Young, who's a great shooter, he's out. Ryan Kelly, who's an excellent shooter, he's out. So in other words, you got to go with what you have. Kobe's a solid three-point shooter. Jeremy's a solid three-point shooter. But they're better at two-point shots, and they're the ones making passes. So you have to take threes. The way that I don't want to say modern game, the way that the present version of the NBA is, you must make some threes. If you don't, your opponent is likely to, and you're going to lose. And so that's why there's been so much discussion about this issue. And, Byron Scott doesn't want to shoot threes. Well, if he had the shooters, he'd probably shoot a whole bunch of threes. So it's not just a philosophical issue. It's a personnel issue. And that's what Mike Trudell was talking about. Now, Mike also mentioned that even more important than the Lakers shooting threes is they must defend against three-point shooters from their opponents. That has been a big problem for the Lakers this year so far, and unfortunately it was a problem again tonight. The Clippers are excellent at making three-point shots. They look for them, and they have terrific shooters like J.J. Redick, like Chris Paul, and others. They made 12 three-pointers tonight, but the Lakers made 7, so the gap wasn't huge. Now, that's still a difference that's -5. You multiply 5 times 3 for each three-pointer is 3 points, obviously, and that's -15 in threes. So the Lakers were 15 points you have to make up. That's not easy, and that's the reason why you must be able to shoot threes, because your opponent is likely to be able to shoot them, so you want to be able to shoot them too. Also, the Clippers got a tremendous number of free throw attempts in this game. 44 free throws they shot. That's a huge amount. So, look, a lot of those came from Blake Griffin, and he drew a lot of fouls, and many of them were legitimate. He got 12 free throw attempts, and Jamal Crawford got 10. Okay, but still, that's a lot. So, I mean, that's the way the referees call the game. So, I don't know. Make of that what you will. Now, the defensive strategy for the Lakers to begin this game was that they put Jeremy Lin, who started, on J.J. Redick, and they put Kobe on Chris Paul. Again, Jeremy has struggled guarding Chris Paul in the past, or the perception has been that he struggled anyway. So I don't really have a problem with that. Kobe's the type of guy that his best defense is guarding the ball, guarding the man with the ball. So if you want to maximize him, put him on the ball handler. And that's what they did. I have no problem with it. It worked well. On both accounts, J.J. Redick didn't shoot well tonight, and neither did Chris Paul. So that defensive decision by Byron Scott and the Lakers worked out well. Okay, Jeremy started out the game, and he made the first basket of the game for the Lakers on a three-pointer. He came off of a screen that was set for him, and I want to say it was about 40 degrees right of the top of the arc, and I believe that's right, yes. And he nailed a three-pointer. So it was a good start to the game, and he, as we said, he clearly had taken heed of what Kobe said to him. Be aggressive. Don't just stand around and look to me and wait around. Make things happen. Look for your shot, and that's what he did. Then he had a quick couple of turnovers. And if you're not familiar with Jeremy, if you're a Lakers fan, you don't know much about JLin. Many times when Jeremy has turnovers, he'll have them in a bunch. He'll have them in a bundle. You'll get a couple of them quickly. And that's what happened here. He got 2 turnovers relatively quickly. The first turnover, Jeremy drove down the left-hand side of the lane, and he was bottled up by 2 Clippers, and he had nowhere to go, and so he jumped in the air and made a pass, and it became a turnover. And the old axiom in basketball is do not jump to pass. So I didn't have a huge problem with it, though. I mean, it wasn't good because he was trying to be aggressive. He's trying to put pressure on the defense. If you play at a fast pace and you play aggressive, you will have some turnovers. But hopefully the thinking is the good results from putting pressure on the defense will override the negative of the turnovers. And I thought Jeremy definitely did that tonight. So I wasn't really mad about that turnover. Okay, then Jeremy missed a three-pointer from 35 degrees left of the top of the arc. He was wide open. He got a nice screen. He had his feet set. It just didn't go in. Clippers went up. This is still early in the first quarter. They were up 11-4, so they kind of shot out to the lead. Then Jeremy had his second turnover in a short period of time. He got trapped, I believe, on the left sideline, and the Clippers just kind of reached in or poked the ball away. That wasn't as good of a turnover. He has to be careful of those turnovers, but to be fair to the Clippers, it was pretty aggressive defense. It was a nice play by them. But again, I was a little more upset with this turnover. But Jeremy was still trying to go at a fast pace, and he was still trying to make things happen. So be careful of that. But to be fair, it was a very good play. It was a nice play by the Clippers. Soon after that, Jeremy had his first assist of the game. He passed the ball to Carlos Boozer, who hit a jump shot. And to be fair to Jeremy as well, in the first 4 minutes of the game, he had 2 of his 3 or 4 turnovers in this game. So after that, he was much steadier. He came out looking to attack the way that Kobe wanted him to. And so this is why it's not a big deal to me. He wanted to implement what he was told by Kobe, and he tried to do it, and he did it. So make mistakes. One of the things Kobe said to him was, you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder here like you might have had to in other places you played, which of course means Houston in particular. In other words, don't be afraid to make mistakes. We're not going to yank you out of the game if you have a single turnover or even a couple. And that definitely happened to Jeremy in Houston. And it saps your confidence. And so Jeremy's a guy that needs to be confident to play well. And if he's not, then he gets passive. And he's afraid to make mistakes. But what I liked was he wasn't afraid to make mistakes tonight. He made them, he got past them, and then he started to rock. And so it's good. Everything that was said to him, it all worked. And he took it and he ran with it. So you hear all this stuff. Kobe's a bad teammate. Dwight Howard doesn't like Kobe. Nobody wants to play with Kobe, whatever. Well, Jeremy obviously gets along with Kobe well. And vice versa. And Jeremy, if you know Jeremy's background, there's been comments, I believe, and I don't know the truth behind this. Let me put it this way. I don't want to say anything about anybody I don't know. But I think a lot of times in different Asian heritage households, you will hear the description tiger mom, kind of aggressive, demanding, I believe that's what the characterization means, parent. Well, Mrs. Lin is definitely a tough lady, and I mean that in a respectful way. I like her. She's tough. And so I could see her being, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, or whatever, just because to help her child. So if Jeremy came from that, well, then he's used to that. So if Kobe's like that, that's nothing. That's not going to faze Jeremy. If his mother's like that or he came from that, okay, I'm used to that. He's used to that if that was the situation for him. That's normal. And so if you watch Jeremy listening to Kobe on the sidelines in the Phoenix game, he just listening to it. It's not a big deal. He's not all, his feelings aren't hurt like maybe some other players that played for the Lakers in the past might have had their feelings hurt. And so this is working. This partnership between Jeremy and Kobe is working, and it's good. It works for everybody involved. Kobe needs Jeremy. That's important to understand. Because Kobe, at 36 years old, coming off the Achilles, he can't do everything. Even if he was 20 and he was healthy, he still couldn't do everything. Kobe understands Jeremy is needed as a playmaker and as a scorer. If this team this year is going to do anything, Jeremy has to be able to fulfill that role. That's why Kobe's spending time with Jeremy. He respects Jeremy, and he knows he needs Jeremy. As we've seen, if anybody knows the stories of Smush Parker and other people, if Kobe doesn't think you're worth his time, he won't spend time with you, and he won't spend time on you. The amount of time that Kobe's spending with Jeremy shows you that Kobe values Jeremy. That's clear. And obviously, Jeremy values Kobe. And as Jeremy said earlier this preseason and season, he finally has somebody that's mentoring him, unlike in his other playing stops. So you can kind of get a sense of who he's talking about there that didn't do that. So this is perfect. This is like a kung fu movie, the master and the student. Well, the student's eager. Jeremy wants to learn from Kobe. He's not pushing Kobe back like Dwight Howard might have. And it's working, and it paid off tonight. And it probably will continue to pay off. Jeremy wants to work. He wants to learn. Kobe needs somebody to help him. If Kobe's Batman, he needs Robin. He needs somebody. Jeremy's that guy, or he's one of those guys. It's not that Kobe's not mentoring anybody else or helping him. He is. He's doing that with Nick Young. He's doing it with other guys. This is working, and it was good to see it work tonight. Okay, middle of the first. Then Kobe had this huge reverse dunk. We call it a 180-degree dunk because it's like it's a reverse dunk. It's half a circle. Kobe went underneath the rim, turned around, and dunked the heck out of the ball. To be honest, he didn't get probably that high off the ground, but so what? You don't have to jump high to dunk hard. And that was a hard dunk. And that woke up the whole arena. It was like, whoa. I didn't know I could still do that. That was impressive. That was fantastic. Then Jeremy was having a little bit of trouble defending J.J. Redick properly. He was allowing J.J. Redick to run him off of screens, meaning Jeremy was chasing J.J. Redick around, which you can't completely stop that. But what Stu Lance, who was the analyst for Time Warner Cable Sportsnet, and he is a former Laker, what Stu Lance said, and he's right, was make J.J. Redick backdoor you. The term backdoor in basketball means you are out defending a man, and that man beats you. He doesn't have the ball. He cuts to the basket. He gets in front of you. He gets between you and the basket, and he gets the ball and gets like a layup. That's a backdoor. So what Stu was trying to say there, and what he said, and what was correct, is JJ wants to shoot three-pointers, and he's running off of screens so he can set up for three-pointers. Your job as a defender, Jeremy Lin, is to not allow him to take the three-point shot. You beat him to the spot that he's trying to get to. And it's a lot easier to say that than to do it. But that's what you want to do. It is your job as a defender to take away the first option of the offensive player. So if you're playing defense and your man likes to drive right, your job is to make him drive left or not let him drive right. If he likes to shoot jump shots, your job is to make him not take a jump shot. So that's what Stu was saying there. And Jeremy improved upon this on the game, and he did a good job. His defense was solid throughout this game, quite solid. Okay, middle of the first as well, Jeremy had a near turnover. He passed the ball to Kobe at the mid-post around the elbow area where the free throw line is, that little corner. And Stu Lance then again said that the Lakers' offense has tough angles to pass in. When you're making that pass to the man at the elbow that's posting up. And he's right. It is a tough pass. And so what Stu was saying is, look, they got to work on this more. And we've discussed this during the preseason that Jeremy has had several turnovers on that exact play. Just work on it. Change your angle a little bit. Make the angle so it's a little bit easier to make the pass. Luckily, it was not a turnover, and I think the play worked out okay. Then Jeremy missed a field goal. He missed a shot attempt on a left-handed drive. I don't remember exactly what happened on that play, but I do know that he missed it. Okay, late in the first, then Kobe was running the offense a little bit more. And I don't know if he was frustrated with Jeremy or it was his turn to work the ball. And what you will see when these two are playing together, and I know somebody sent me this on Twitter, and they said Byron Scott believes that his offense is meant for two guards. In other words, you need two capable guards and ball handlers to make it work. So this is going to happen. There will be times, and for Lin fans, it brings up Houston. Oh, Harden's taking the ball again. Well, a couple things. Number one, the offense might be designed this way. Number two, Kobe's a better decision maker than James Harden is. And number three, it's okay. There will be times, and I put this out on Twitter during the game, Jeremy still has to work on his dribbling when he's under pressure, somebody's guarding him up close, and when he's in traffic, meaning several guys are around him. He's an excellent dribbler, but he still has a little bit of issue with that. He needs to tighten that up a little bit more. I think he can and he will. His ball handling's much better than it used to be, particularly with his left hand. So there's no reason to think it won't get better still. But he does still need to work on that. It's a little bit of it's holding him back a little bit, in my opinion. So if that is the case, then there will be times where just let Kobe handle it. Not because you can't do it, but just make it a little easier on yourself while you still improve your skill level. And so Kobe will work with you on that. So it's like, again, it's not Harden, where Harden, in my opinion, wants the ball all the time, even if he's going to throw turnover. So this is a different situation. Okay, then Jeremy made a really nice play. We're still late in the first here. He stole the ball from, I believe, J.J. Redick, and then he scored on a left-handed layup. Again, Jeremy continues to do left-handed layups and shots, which just makes the people that keep trying to insist that he can't go to his left look dumber and dumber. I mean, I don't even know how many left-handed shots he's already made in 3 games. He clearly can go to his left and finish with his left. So it's time to put that criticism to bed. Okay? Then Jeremy had an excellent shot. It was an offensive play where the sequence wasn't going well. The Lakers, the offensive set wasn't working out well. And then Jeremy was like, okay, which is basically what Kobe's told him as well. Hey, we have to go or freaking go. And I explained this in the blog post. That means you need to make the offense happen, even if nobody else is where they are supposed to be or they don't know what to do because the offense they don't understand it completely yet. And so on this play, Jeremy freaking went. He dribbled to the middle of the court, to the middle of the lane. I think Chris Paul was on him. He faked Chris Paul and did a step-back jump shot that swished. It was perfect. Jeremy's capable of these shots. He's actually good at making shots that look bad. And if you watch the Time Warner Cable's broadcast, the announcers were talking about how Jamal Crawford's good at that. He's a good bad ball shooter, meaning he's good at hitting shots that don't look like they're good shots. Well, Jeremy's also good at that, and that's what this shot was. So it was good to see him make that. And look, let me tell you something too. Remember, the best game of Jeremy Lin's professional career was against Kobe and the Lakers. Remember, that was all after the Kobe said, "Who's he? What's going on?" So Kobe, who is king of swag, he knows what Jeremy can look like when Jeremy's confident, when Jeremy's feeling good. So what I'm sure Kobe has talked to Jeremy before and said, dude, what's this stuff? What are you doing? I know what you can do, and you know what you can do. We've both seen it. You put 38 points against us. That's what's so great about having Kobe around. Because Kobe's he's very aggressive, and he tells it like it is. And he doesn't care. Now, we've said before, Kobe show, it's always going to be the Kobe show. And this is where the difference is between Houston and between somebody like Harden, who's still trying to become a bona fide, legitimate star. Well, Kobe's already a star. He knows he's going to get his shots. And he knows Jeremy's going to give him the ball, which is why he's saying, you don't have to give it to me all the time. Because Kobe's not worried about Jeremy, or doesn't see Jeremy as a threat, then it's easier for Kobe's ego to say to Jeremy, dude, go off like you did in New York against us. Score 38 points. That's what I want you to do. Instead of somebody like Harden or even McHale saying stuff like, oh, well, J-Lin sanity was a fluke. That's the difference here. There are people who don't want it, and they're basically putting Jeremy down and making him feel weak. And they don't want him to take their spotlight. And then on the other hand, you have Kobe, whose legacy is secure, saying, I want you to do that again. I know you can do that because you did it against us. And that's the difference. And let me tell you something. A lot of people think you get to the NBA. Look, anybody that makes the NBA, besides guys that are just really tall and just they make it because they're tall, is a good basketball player. You cannot make it without superior skill and athletic talent. But that doesn't mean all the guys have the same level of confidence, because they don't. I've mentioned Wes Johnson. In this game, Wes Johnson was lost at times. And then he found his confidence. He's hitting the three-pointer. He's hitting the long two-pointer. He looks great. You need to nurture guys like that. Because if you give them the confidence, they can play. But if you don't give it to them, then they look like they suck. And that's what happened to Jeremy in Houston most of the time. And that's what happened to Jeremy in the last game. But then tonight, he's like, no. He felt confident. Kobe pumped him up. Did some Tiger Mom stuff. And then you get this. That's what it is. So there are all kinds of guys in the league that if they had the right situation and they had the right mentoring or somebody giving them confidence, they could play a lot better than what they play. The good thing for Jeremy is people know what he can do, even if idiots say it's a fluke. Lin fans know it's not a fluke because we've chronicled what he's capable of doing throughout his entire career since Linsanity, or even before Linsanity in Golden State. So it's good. This is the payoff for what Kobe and Byron Scott are working to do with Jeremy. And so it's great. This is a good situation for him. And good. Okay, then Jeremy had his second assist of the game. We're still late in the first here. Jeremy to Jordan Hill for a nice jump shot. Jordan Hill was hitting everything tonight. It was great to watch. And to be fair to Jordan, and to be fair to Mike D'Antoni told Jordan Hill that he wanted him to be able to shoot outside shots. And so Jordan Hill's shooting hundreds of shots every single day. Well, now it's starting to pay off. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to shoot like this every single game, but he can shoot like this because he's worked at it. So thank you, Mike D'Antoni, for making him shoot jump shots, because it certainly worked tonight. The announcers at this point in the game, because Kobe had sat down a few minutes ago, the Lakers were on an 8-0 run with Jeremy in the game and Kobe on the bench. The announcers said, in the Phoenix game, the Lakers made a 13-0 run when Kobe was on the bench. That's because of Jeremy Lin. Jeremy showed this. He showed it in New York, and he showed it in Houston. Sometimes when he's playing with a alpha scorer type of guy, like a Melo or like a Harden, he kind of reduces his game. But if you let him be the guy on the floor, he ups the game. He can score. He can make things happen. That's why those statistics were taking place. The good thing about this game, and what Kobe's trying to tell Jeremy, is I want you to be good when I'm on the floor. Don't just pass it to me. You do things. And that's what started happening in this game. We saw this in the Phoenix preseason game. We had Kobe sanity and Lin sanity at the same time. And it happened again tonight. And it happened in Houston too with Harden and Lin. They were able to play well on the floor together. It's just the situation and the personalities involved didn't let it happen like that. It's a shame, but that's Houston's loss. And Kobe wants it to happen. And it happened tonight. When it happened in the Phoenix preseason game, Kobe was on the bench. Lin's sanity started to roll, like in the fourth quarter. Big comeback. And then Kobe came in, and then Kobe went crazy. That's how it can happen. Tonight was the first time it probably actually happened simultaneously. And this is the start of what can happen. And like I said, not only is it deadly, it's fun. Because as much as Kobe gets the rap that he's selfish, Kobe can pass. I mean, he had some great passes tonight. The key with Kobe, just like with Jeremy, is you, as a teammate, you must always be ready for the pass. Because he will hit you with a pass that people don't expect. He will go up to shoot and then pass the ball to you. But he's good at it. And Kobe's a smart player. And he has good body control. He can go up and still make a nice pass and a long pass and do things. So that's why I'm so pumped up. I can't be mad about this loss, even if the referees did whatever. Lakers needed this. They really needed this, and they got it. This could be the start of some very good things. Really good. So hopefully it will be able to continue tomorrow. Okay, then Jeremy was blocked big time by DeAndre Jordan. He went in for a layup, easily beat his man. I don't know if it was Chris Paul or the backup at that point in time, Farmar. But then DeAndre blocked him and gave him a little stare. And look, DeAndre's a great shot blocker. He's one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. And we've said before with Jeremy that when he faces shot blockers, he'll struggle a little when he faces good shot blockers. The key to be a shot blocker, there's a couple keys. One of the main keys for a guard to beat a shot blocker is to have a floater. Have a floater shot, have a teardrop, have runners. And we would see that later in the game, and we know Jeremy worked on that this past summer. So, very good. The end of one quarter, 31-22 Clips. They were up by 9 points. They had pretty good control of the game, but the Lakers were starting to show some signs. Then in the start of the second quarter, Xavier Henry was in. Or he might even come in earlier in the late in the first quarter, which is good. It's great to see Xavier. Now, if you've never seen Xavier Henry play before, he looks terrible right now. That's because he doesn't have any confidence. His body is not healed, and he just doesn't look that good. But when Xavier is healthy, he's very explosive. He's an excellent jumper. He can score quickly. They need him. So it's really good to see him around, even if it's going to take him time to regain his form. I really hope he's able to stay healthy this year, because if he can and he can round himself into shape, he's going to really help, tremendously help. As I said, it's a shame that, look, Nash, I mean, it's unfortunate. Nash is 40 years old. He looks fantastic. You saw him in preseason. He's cut. He was moving excellently. It just, he just has those certain nerve injuries and damage that it's too far gone, and it's really a shame. But Nick, Xavier, Julius, Ryan Kelly, I mean, this team can look a lot different than what it looks like right now when these guys are playing. Nick Young, scorer, shooter. And when he gets on a roll, he can carry you. Xavier, slasher, scorer. Ryan Kelly, shooter. And Julius Randle, everything. We just began to see the very, very tip of what Julius Randle's going to be able to do. And we certainly hope that he is able to return to at full strength, because if he can, he is going to be a monster once he gets everything in order. So it's a shame. This team could be so much different than what it is. Of course, Julius and Steve's career is probably over. Julius hopefully will be back next year and in good shape and ready to go. But we still hope that Xavier, Nick, and Ryan can come back at full strength. And that's going to change things. Nick and Xavier will definitely change things, and Ryan gives you another shooter. He helps you with the spacing. And so if they can actually get healthy, which is a difficult thing to say about this recent Lakers teams, but things can be a lot different. Early in the second quarter, the Lakers went into a zone defense, I believe. And the announcer said this. I thought that they did it to try to protect against the three-point shots on the Clippers a little bit. Get a little bit easier to get out on the shooters. And it worked for the sequence or two. So that was good. Then Stu Lance mentioned something. He said that Ronnie Price looked off Kobe, meaning Ronnie Price ignored Kobe on an offensive sequence, and Ronnie Price took a shot. And then he was basically, this is the whole Jeremy conversation. And Bob McDonald, the play-by-play man, said, yeah, that's kind of like what Kobe wants Jeremy to do. That's exactly what he wants him to do. In other words, even if I'm sitting here asking for the ball, don't give it to me all the time. Have confidence. You do what you need to do. And Jeremy did that throughout this game. There were a couple different times where he took isolation shots or he looked off Kobe too. And that's what Kobe wants. It sounds like a contradiction. It's tough because here's one of the greatest players ever asking you to give him the ball, and he's telling you, no, I don't want you to give me the ball, even though he's asking you for the ball. So you have to learn how to deal with that. And that's what Jeremy's learning how to do. That's why it's important that Kobe's taking the time to tell him, don't give it to me all the time. And so Stu Lance pointed that out about Ronnie Price to kind of say, yeah, that's how you do it. And then the announcers also said, Kobe will respect you if you do your own thing. In other words, you go get some points. Make your own things happen. And Kobe will respect that. And that's true. I agree with that. I think that's absolutely true. And again, Kobe has a different personality than a lot of other people. So you have to figure out how to deal with that. And Jeremy's learning that. He's obviously, this game shows he's learning it. And as he learns it more and more, it's going to get better and better. Okay, middle of the second. Then the Time Warner Cable broadcasted a split screen. They had two pictures. They put the line down the middle of the screen, and they had Jeremy on one of the sides, and then they had Kobe on the other one. And they started talking about this whole thing. Hey, Kobe doesn't want him to think too much. And so they went over the whole thing, which was good. I mean, that's a big part of the drama or conversation around the team right now going into this game. So it's really good to see that Jeremy was able to succeed under this microscope, because this is being talked about a lot, and he was able to do well under the circumstances, which is going to help everybody involved. Jeremy came back into the game with 6:22 left in the second quarter. At that point, the Clippers were up 6 points. So the Lakers had cut the lead by a couple points and got it down to 6. Then Lin played some very good defense that caused a 3-second call on the Clippers. 3 seconds can be called, it can be called on offense or defense. Basically, you are not allowed to stand in the paint, in the lane, for more than 3 seconds. And it's so that guys that are tall don't just stand in there and get the ball and dunk it. And on defense, they don't just stand there and block shots. It's to kind of clean up the lane a little bit so there's more room to operate. And so there's not an unfair advantage given. So Jeremy calls the 3 seconds because one of the Clippers was in the paint area waiting for a rebound that they thought somebody was going to shoot, but they didn't shoot because Jeremy played good defense on them and didn't let them get off the shot. Okay, then Jeremy missed a 3-pointer from 30 degrees right of the top of the arc. It was in transition, just off. At that point, he was 1 for 3 on 3-pointers, and it wasn't a bad shot. That wasn't a bad shot quite at all. Then Jeremy drew a foul against Chris Paul. Then Jeremy got his third and possibly final turnover of the game, or final true turnover of the game. He was a little bit over the midcourt line, maybe 10 feet in, on the left-hand side of the court. And I think the play was a little bit of a broken play, just kind of like a little bit of chaos. I believe Jordan Hill and Carlos Boozer were standing like almost right underneath the basket. And Jeremy saw them, and he tried to force in a pass. It just didn't quite have the angle, and the Clippers intercepted it. I mean, I can't get too mad at him for trying to make that. It's just, again, if you don't make the amazing pass unless you know you can make it. If I were him and I would have had a try, I mean, there was certainly an opportunity there. But you have to, it's like a quarterback in American football making a long pass. You have to know where the safeties are, or else you're going to get intercepted. If he had to throw that pass again, maybe a bounce pass could have worked better, a long bounce pass, given the angles. I would have to see the play again. It wasn't bad, though. He was trying to make something happen. So, again, I can't get really, really too upset about that. Then assist number 3 for Jeremy Lin. He passed the ball to Kobe for a made 3-pointer. That cut the Clippers' lead down to 3. Then going to late in the second quarter, he had his 4th assist. Nice little pass inside to Ed Davis for a layup right underneath the basket. It was great. It was an aggressive pass. Really getting stuff done there. Then late in the second as well, Jeremy got just a ridiculous call on him. He was guarding Chris Paul on an inbounds play. And, I mean, Jeremy was not happy with the call, to say the least. What I liked about this call was that Chris Paul went to shoot free throws, and Kobe was talking to the referee. We've talked before this season, in preseason, about how Jeremy has to get the referees to change their perception of him. In other words, allow him to play more physical defense. What I think Kobe was doing there was trying to help Jeremy with the ref, working the referees for Jeremy. This is another great thing that Kobe will do. These little mind games, because Kobe has huge stature and Jeremy doesn't. So if Kobe goes to the ref and say, hey, was that really a foul? That helps Jeremy out. So this is good, man. Like I said, this partnership is starting to work. Okay, now, he almost got a steal, I believe, against the Clippers. He's being more aggressive. at this point in the game. He's really, really working it. That's what I have here. Then he got what we refer to as a hockey assist. A hockey assist means that you pass the ball to another man, and then that man makes a pass for an assist. In hockey, you get an assist for that. In basketball, you don't. So he passed the ball to Carlos Boozer. Carlos passed the ball to Ed Davis for a dunk. But it all started because of Jeremy. Jeremy set that into motion, that play. So that was really nice. Then I put energy. The Lakers have huge energy. They're showing a lot of fight. They're showing a lot of grit. Kobe then had one of his nice little scoop layups. He had two of them, I believe, at least in this game. Then Jeremy had probably his best basket of the game, and this was really good to see. Jeremy waved off Kobe, I believe. Jeremy was on the left-hand side of the court. About free throw line extended. So if you took the free throw line and drew a line out, he was about there, close to the three-point line out on that side of the court. Somebody wanted the ball. He waved off whoever. It might have been Kobe. He went isolation play against Chris Paul. He dribbled left to right with his right hand, got to the middle of the lane, beat Chris Paul on the play, and then shot at just a rainbow over DeAndre Jordan for the hoop. It was beautiful. We've talked, and I said, how do you beat a shot blocker? Floaters. That was the floater that Jeremy's been working on. That was a terrific play. So everything that Kobe wanted to see and Byron Scott wanted to see and Jeremy Lin fans wanted to see was all in that play. He shook off Kobe or whoever on offense. He said, I'm taking Chris Paul. He beats Chris Paul, and he shoots the floater he's been working on this summer. And that's what it's all about. That's progress in a nutshell. This is what Jeremy Lin is. He will keep working. He still has things to work on. Plenty of them. That's why I say, James Worthy has said this again and again, and I've said it as well. Jeremy is not a finished product. He still has plenty more to develop in his game. He's got to get better ball handling in traffic. He's got to continue to work on the turnovers. He's got to refine this floater. He's got to keep working on his three-pointer. He's got to get mentally stronger. He's got to get his defense more physical. So there's still a whole bunch of things for him to work on. What's a credit to him is he's still good now. But his upside is huge. When he can do those things, he's going to be really, really good. And this is what Kobe sees in him. What Kobe sees in Jeremy is, this is a guy that hit us for 38 points after I basically called him out. I know he can mentally step up to the challenge because we saw it. This is a guy that knows how to take advantage of an opportunity because he did it in Linsanity. This is a guy that works extremely hard, which is definitely something Kobe looks for. And this guy's got talent. He's got ability. He can score. He can get plays for other people. This is what it is. There's all these people that Jeremy can't play, and all this stuff. If Jeremy can play, and all you need to know is Kobe thinks Jeremy can play. Remember, Kobe made comments after the 38-point game, Knicks versus Lakers in Linsanity. Kobe made comments to the effect of, how did everybody miss this guy? How did they miss Jeremy Lin? And if the people that missed Jeremy Lin, if they worked for me, I would have fired them. So Kobe believes in Jeremy, and he always has since Linsanity. I think Kobe sees some of himself in Jeremy. Again, Jeremy is a cocky guy at the core. But a lot of that's been drained out of him in Houston and at the end of New York. So Kobe's like, no, I know that's still in there. I know that's still in there. And so when Kobe's saying things like, I want to turn Jeremy into a championship level point guard, he means it. Because he knows it's there. And look, Kobe's dealt with his own doubters for years. As great as Kobe is, he's had doubters for forever. He knows that. So like I said, I think he sees some of himself in Jeremy, and that's good. That's great. So we went into halftime, 62-56. Clippers clips by 6. That lead was not going to hold up, though, because the Lakers went nuts in the third quarter. And they were great in the second quarter. They shot 58% from the field in the second quarter, did the Lakers, which is phenomenal. That is terrific. Okay, started out the third quarter. Starters on the court for the Lakers. Jeremy almost drew a charge on Chris Paul right off the bat. So we talked about him being aggressive on defense. Part of being aggressive is taking charges. Get in the head of your opponent. And one of the ways you can do is try to draw charges on them. Because then all of a sudden they have to think, oh, I better not dribble too aggressive. He'll get a charge on me. So he came out looking for that right from the beginning. Then Jeremy got a nice pass from Kobe, and he drove to the lane for a little right-handed layup, which was terrific. I think he came right down the middle of the lane. Kobe hit him. Easy layup. Easy. Then Jeremy got his 5th assist of the game. Found Wesley Johnson for a 3-point shot in transition. Dr. Hirsch was telling me on Twitter during the game that Wesley's just like a terrible player, and he certainly can look like it. It's, again, he's a confidence player. When he's confident, he can look incredible. But he loses confidence easily, and when he has no confidence, he looks horrible. And so we saw a lot of that Wesley in the first half today, the bad Wesley. But the good Wesley showed up in the third quarter. Then Jeremy had another of the hockey assist. Jeremy passed to Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer passed to Jordan Hill for a dunk right over Blake Griffin. That was a terrific play. Blake didn't want to challenge him because Blake was in foul trouble. Then Jeremy got a nice pass from Kobe Bryant, and he hit a 3-point shot. So, in the Phoenix game, we saw, and people pointed out the video where Jeremy was clapping his hands, telling Kobe he was open, and Kobe didn't pass it to him. But here, Kobe passed to him. This is what I said to you guys. It's a reaction thing. Kobe thinks you got it going, or you're feeling confident, he will pass you the ball. But if he doesn't think that, then he might not pass you the ball. Here, he passed the ball to him. Again, like I said, this is not Harden. This is not Harden. Said, and that's good. This is a different deal. This is a different deal. Then, Jeremy drew a foul on DeAndre Jordan. Basically, DeAndre Jordan ran over him when DeAndre was there to set a screen. So Jeremy was having a nice little back and forth with DeAndre. DeAndre went up, DeAndre blocked his shot, DeAndre's staring at him. And now Jeremy's getting a charge on DeAndre. So, like I said, he has a big impact on the game. Much more than a lot of people think. Because, some of it is guys don't think he's that good. And then all of a sudden he's torching them. Or he's making plays against them. And that gets them mad. Like DeAndre. He can get in your head. Even though Jeremy's not trying to do it. He's an instigator. Sometimes because of what people think about him. And that's effective. They want to beat him. They want to show he's not that good. They want to show whatever. And so he gets them off their game. He did that to DeAndre some in this contest, and it worked. for the Lakers, and it should have worked even better if the referees would have made the call down the stretch. Okay, then middle of the third quarter, Jeremy hit Jordan Hill for a nice jumper. At that point in time, both Jeremy and Kobe had 6 assists apiece, so they were both playing playmaker, and this is what it looks like when it's done right. Not Jeremy has 1 assist and James Harden has 8 because Jeremy doesn't get to handle the ball. No, this is what it looks like when it's done properly. So then, soon after that, at his 7th assist, he again passed the ball to Jordan Hill for a jumper. If you noticed, in the preseason and this season, Jeremy does this over and over again. He will find big men for open jump shots, and he can help make guys who don't have reputations for being good shooters into decent shooters. Why? Because they're wide open, and they're getting the ball where they want it. In terms of, you don't want to catch the ball down at your legs because then it takes you longer to set up for a shot. If you're getting a ball right at the chest and you can go right near your motion before the defender can get to you. Robert Sacre, Jeremy's always getting him open shots. Jordan Hill, same thing. So you're going to see more of this during the season. Now, Carlos Boozer, he is a jump shooter. And the defense knows that. But guys that don't have the reputation, like Jordan Hill, like Sacre, Jeremy's going to get them wide open shots. And when they're hitting them, the way Jordan was tonight, both Jeremy and Jordan are going to look real good. And this is part of what J-Lin can do. Okay, then Jeremy had a couple blown assists, meaning he made passes to guys and they missed jump shots, but that's just part of the game. That happens. Then I made a note that Blake Griffin is taking over. Bleep. And I won't repeat the bleep. Blake, as I said, Blake was just physically overpowering whoever was guarding him. Blake's a big dude. Obviously, he's legitimately about 6'8.5" and with no shoes. And he's whatever he is, 250. 255. And not only is he big, he's big in the legs. To be able to post up, which is what Blake was doing here. And he was posting up against big guys. Carlos Boozer's not a small guy. Neither's Jordan Hill or any of them on the Lakers. To be able to post up well, you must have leg strength. You must have strength in your legs and your hips. And so Blake isn't just big in the upper body. He's big in the lower body. He's got gigantic calves and legs. And this is what you can do if you have that type of strength. And some of it's, you can lift weights and whatever, but some of it's just genetic. Some guys have bigger bones and they have wider hips. Those guys are usually good post-up guys. Carmelo Anthony has huge hip bones. So he can post up guys that are bigger than him, or they look bigger because of the strength that he has in his hips and his legs. And Blake has that. And at this point, they just came down, threw the ball to him, and he just back in and get an easy shot, or get an easy shot and get fouled. And if it wasn't for Blake, the Lakers would have won this game. But that's why he's so good. That's why he was third in the MVP voting last year. And I like Blake. A lot of people don't like him, particularly Lakers fans. I like him. He's a tremendous player, and he seems like a pretty good dude. Okay, late in the third as well, Jeremy then missed he missed a three-pointer, I believe. Yes, he missed a three-pointer short. Kobe had just gone out of the game. Jeremy was then kind of going into, okay, I'm going to score mode because I need to. He missed a three-point shot, but there were two Lakers right underneath the basket. And I believe Robert Sacre grabbed the rebound and got a dunk. So even though it was a miss, it ended up being a pretty good play because it was basically an assist. Then Jeremy did have his 8th assist. He drove down the left-hand side of the lane, and he wrapped a bounce pass around his man right into Jordan Hill, who caught the ball and finished it for a layup. So that was a very nice play. Then Jeremy had a wide open lane. I think he burnt Chris Paul, and it was right going up to the thing, and DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin blocked his shot. On that play, I believe Jeremy was credited with a turnover instead of a shot. So that, I think, turned into his fourth turnover, even though it should have been counted as a shot. One other thing for newer fans. If you go on NBA.com and you look at their game statistics, you will see a category near the right-hand side for the box scores of each game that is known as BA. BA means blocked attempts. So if you have a shot and it gets blocked, that's a BA. And I mean, it counts with field goals, or it should, but when you get blocked, that'll be a BA. And that is what that stat means if you come across it and you're not sure what that is. Like I said, I believe that was credited as a turnover, and it should not have been. I only think Jeremy had 3 turnovers in this game, but he ended up with 4 on that play. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I thought in watching the action. Okay, then Jeremy, after that, had his 9th assist and his final assist of the game to Wayne Ellington for a nice jump shot. So he was rolling here now. Assist, getting to the lane, putting pressure on the defense, drawing big men. This is the Linsanity type of a roll. And this is what it kind of looks like here. Then Jeremy came out of the game with 1:30 left in the third quarter. Lakers up 90-83. So the Lakers totally turned things around in the third quarter. They were down by 6 or something at the half, and now going into the fourth quarter, they were up by 4. So they had completely changed things around, and this game was getting very interesting coming down the stretch. Early in the fourth, the Lakers bench was in, and they did a pretty good job of hanging on to the lead. Remember, this is a depleted bench because of all the guys that are hurt. Then Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant were still guarding each other as they were earlier in the game. With the game 103-103, Jeremy made a huge three-point shot. This is the middle of the fourth quarter now. He'd come back into the game, and basically he had the ball, and it was a broken play. And the shot clock was winding down, so he took a couple dribbles on the right-hand side of the court and pulled up right over Chris Paul and drilled a three-point shot. And that's the Mr. Fourth Quarter that we know. Jeremy's big in big moments. He's always been like this throughout his entire basketball career, including college, high school, everything that I'm aware of. And you could see Kobe was pumped up, the bench was pumped up, Jeremy was pumped up, he's yelling, "Let's go," going down the court. Just great. Unfortunately, the Clippers came back down, and Jamal Crawford was fouled by Wesley Johnson on a three-pointer, and that tied it up. But it's great to see Jeremy coming through in the clutch, which we know he can do. Then, while Jamal Crawford was shooting the free throws, which he made all 3 of to tie the game at 106, Kobe was talking to Jeremy again. So this dialogue continues. They're planning, they're strategizing. Kobe trusts Jeremy. They're working on what they're going to do. Right after that came the non-call on DeAndre Jordan. And you know what Kobe probably told Jeremy, honestly, now that I look at it? He probably told him, "Why don't you drive down the lane and see if you can get a foul on DeAndre Jordan?" Because DeAndre Jordan had 5 fouls and 1 more foul, and he was out of the game. Jeremy executed the play. He got totally hammered by DeAndre Jordan. No call. Game altered. So, look, there were still more than 4 minutes left in the game. I'm not saying that the Lakers win if DeAndre Jordan fouls out, but boy, that would have helped. That would have changed things drastically. So, look, in all seriousness, I'm not trying to disparage the referees here. They miss calls. It does happen, but that was an obvious foul. That was an obvious foul. So it's really unfortunate that happened. Okay, moving on late in the fourth, J.J. Redick fouled Jeremy. It was kind of a silly foul. He was trying to, I guess he was, I don't know why he fouled him in that situation. It looked like J.J. was trying to, go off of this perception that Jeremy can't dribble under pressure, which he does have some trouble with. He just kind of tried to get all up on him, and he basically knocked Jeremy over. It was just a weird play. Okay, then Jeremy drew a foul on Blake Griffin. J.J. Redick was coming down and had scored a layup, but Blake Griffin basically threw Jeremy to the ground on the play for no reason. I mean, it just was a silly play by Blake. He didn't need to do it, but it was good because it wiped out J.J.'s layup, and it was the fifth foul on Blake Griffin. At this point, the score was 107 to 106 for the Clippers. And then going down the stretch here, we got to 109-109. Kobe made a really nice pass to Wayne Ellington for a three-pointer. It was perfect. It was just a great play. And ESPN showed Carlos Boozer saying "all day JL" because he was reacting to Jeremy Lin hitting a three-pointer. And they had Carlos Boozer with a microphone. ESPN did, so that was cool. You could see the teams rooting for Jeremy and pumping him up. And the Clippers now were doing hard double teams on Jeremy off the pick and roll. They were scared of Jeremy beating them, so they were making him give the ball up, which shows respect for what he could do. Then Jeremy forced Chris Paul into getting a shot block, essentially. He beat Jeremy, but Jeremy guided him to, I think, Jordan Hill, who just totally destroyed Chris Paul's layup attempt. Then Jeremy almost had a turnover in transition. Don't rush. Don't rush. Still, as fast. Jeremy's super fast, but you can't go so fast that you lose your dribble. So just, it wasn't a turnover, but just keep working on that. And then, unfortunately, Kobe missed a couple jump shots, one that would have given the Lakers the lead. But, look, they were good shots. And as I said, Kobe's going to get those shots. And he deserves to get them. And he's going to make a lot of them. But I think his legs were a little tired. And, he's still getting the rust off of his game after missing all the time. So, basically, they kind of went back and forth, and Blake Griffin hit some free throws. Kobe missed a couple of shots, and that was essentially the end of the game. So, look, this was a competitive game. It was a good game. It was a fun game to watch. A lot of fun. I mean, I don't care who you're rooting for. This was fun. I mean, look, I'm talking about this game. This is like an 80-minute video now. So many positives from this game. That's why I can't be upset. I'm pumped. The Lakers showed heart. They showed discipline in running the offense. They showed trust in working with one another. They showed progress. They showed what they're capable of doing. And that definitely was reflected in the play of Jeremy. It was reflected in the play of Kobe, who looked very good in this game. Had a tough fourth quarter, but he's still getting it all back. But I love what I saw from the team tonight, and I'm looking forward to the Golden State game tomorrow. Maybe they can finally put it all together tomorrow and get a surprise win. That's going to be a tough game. But given what we saw tonight, nothing would surprise me, including the victory in Golden State. So I'm sure there'll be tons of fans there for Jeremy because, of course, he's from the Bay Area himself. Okay, that is it. Again, positivity. I'm happy after this game, so let's hear what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. We'll have information in the video description below the video player, so you can check out highlights of this game. You can come and follow us on Twitter. You can come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group, which has over 3,500 members and growing. Again, I am PFE Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 JLin YouTube fan channel. Sunshine and rainbows, even in a loss. This was just an exciting game, and it's a preview of what this team is capable of doing. So I am excited. I can't wait for the game against the Golden State Warriors later on tonight. Interested to hear what you think? Comments? Come to Twitter. Let me know what's up. It is 3:21 a.m. on Saturday, November 1st, 2014, which means it is 3:21 p.m. on Saturday, November 1st, 2014 in Taipei, Taiwan. Take care, everybody. Hope you had as much fun with this game as I did. We will be talking to you shortly.